Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. Marriage is too risky. In the past, many women married a guy whose number one attraction was their wallet. But with women's increased economic viability, that's less wise than ever. And men, knowing that many women now think that men suck, plus divorce and child custody rulings that often are tough on men also should think twice. It's not a coincidence that most euphemisms for marriage aren't exactly sanguine. Getting hitched, ball and chain, taking the plunge. Ironically, the case for marriage may be strongest for LGBTs, who, if only for, quote, social justice reasons, want to publicly pronounce their commitment to be a couple for life, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer. Fleshing out the anti-marriage argument a bit, traditional roles have blurred. Even though men work longer hours outside the home, and I do have a link to that in the text version of this, which I'll list at the bottom of this, the expectation is that the man will, atop that, do significant housework and parenting. Making that even more challenging for men, notwithstanding media portrayals of homemaking, much work outside the home is more taxing than the cooking, cleaning, and so on of homemaking. Whether physical labor or the cognitive, political, and time pressures common in the workplace. Many men come home from the workplace exhausted, but if married are often expected to do some cooking, cleaning, diapering, and so on. Thus, men may be wise to think twice about marrying sweetie, especially a sweetie that'll demand that hubby do, quote, his share of domestic work atop bringing home sufficient bacon. Also, women's empowerment demands ceding agency, devaluing a man's advice as mansplaining, his spreading out his arms and legs to be comfortable as manspreading, and now man-keeping, in which women are supposed to additionally resent chores because they ostensibly free men to network, even though, at least in my experience, women spend more time networking than men do. In sum, men are wise to think extra hard before committing to a lifetime of marriage, with legal shackles making dissolution difficult and often expensive and protracted. You hid money from me! Only 'cause your attorney's being unfair. Women also should think 3 times before tying that Gordian knot. In addition to women's increased economic viability, the colleges and media continue to portray men, especially white men, as inferior to, often oppressors of, women. Watch most TV shows or movies. Unless you're willing to brush aside that consensus, that's another reason to avoid marrying. I'm surprised that the idea of term marriage hasn't taken off, agreeing to whatever, monogamy, shared domestic chores, no children, etc., for a fixed but renewable term. But term marriage has certainly not taken off. I feel fortunate to have been with my wife for a half-century now. While our marriage isn't made in heaven, we've figured out how to make it work on earth. Sorta. In any event, that's Marriage is Too Risky. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel, and certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 35 books. Perhaps most relevant is How to Do Life and the fictional relationship stories. But in any event, I thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.